Do you think your brain is really your friend? You think just because you've managed to pull yourself through life so far, it means you're actually in control of your mind? I'm sorry to say this, but the truth is, your brain is designed exactly like a double agent. It cares way more about survival and laziness than about your progress. Most people used to think, and still think, that being smart means having a mountain of information or solving a few math problems quickly. I used to think the same way. I thought if I read a lot of books, it meant I was a genius. But neuroscience says nope. Being smart is about how much you can stop your brain from betraying your logic. 91% of people fail exactly here. They fall into traps their brain sets for them without even realizing it. In this video, I'm not giving you some silly math test. I want to show you how your brain tricks you and how to become part of the 9% who catch their brain in the act. Are you ready to see how you've been betraying yourself? Why does the brain trick its owner? Because its job is survival, not success. To catch it, we break the process into 3 layers based on your body's physiology. Biological tension release, resetting the brain's faulty codes. Mental recovery, identifying hidden thinking traps. Executive control, where you finally become the ruler of your mind. Chapter 1, the paradox of choice trap. Why do smart people freeze? The betrayal of too many options. One of the ways your brain betrays you is in decision-making. You think the more options you have, the freer and happier you are? Totally the opposite. Nope. In the modern world, our brain faces something called analysis paralysis. When options increase, your brain burns so much energy comparing them that you either make no decision at all or make the worst one and then spend forever regretting the other choices. Most smart people never start their own business because their brain keeps creating endless failure scenarios for every possible path. This is where high IQ works against you. You end up not moving because you're stuck in the trap of overthinking. The top 9% learned that a good decision now is better than a perfect decision never. They limit their options so their brain doesn't get the chance to betray them and pull them back. Chapter 2. The smart lazy trap, when your brain hits the brakes. Let's start with a bitter truth. Our brain is only about 2% of our body weight, but it burns 20% of our total energy. That's why evolution built a feature into it called energy economy. Your brain always looks for the easiest path, not the right one. When you try to make a big change in your life, your brain starts sending resistance signals because it thinks you're wasting precious energy. I remember when I wanted to start working out, every time I put on my shoes, my brain would remind me of weird chores like cleaning the stove filter, just to stop me. Science calls this the law of least effort. Your brain prefers being a safe idiot rather than a genius in danger. In this state, a hormone called adenosine joins the party to convince you that you're truly exhausted. The top 9% are the ones who learned how to trick their brain instead of fighting it. They know this tiredness isn't real. It's just a biological defense wall. If you can just survive the first 15 minutes of any hard task, your brain realizes you're serious and finally opens the fuel valve so your focus rises. Practical exercise. Whenever your brain makes excuses, count backward from 5 to 1 and launch yourself toward the task before you hit 1. Don't give your brain time to write its betrayal script. Chapter 3. The invisible filter. You only see what you want to see. Have you ever looked for your keys while they were right in front of you, but you didn't see them? Or thought about a specific car and suddenly the whole city is full of that same car? No, the world didn't change. Your brain just finally allowed you to notice them. Our brain gets bombarded with millions of bits of information every second, but it can only process about 40 bits. To crash, it uses a filter called the Reticular Activating System, or RAS. This filter is exactly where the second betrayal happens. Your brain censors reality based on your existing beliefs. If deep down you believe, I'm not a smart person, your brain filters out all your successes and only shows you your failures to prove itself right.
I spent years in this trap myself. I thought good job opportunities didn't exist because my brain had learned to only see dead ends. Science says this is a survival mechanism to avoid wasting focus, but in today's world, it becomes selective blindness. The top 9% learned how to reprogram their RAS so it hunts opportunities instead of threats. If you can't manage this filter, even if gold is right in front of you, your brain will tell you it's just a worthless rock. You're basically living in a prison built from your own censoring beliefs. Practical exercise. Look around right now and try to notice only blue objects. See? Everything else fades. Life works the same way. Whatever you focus on grows. Chapter 4. When your brain becomes a bribed judge.
The honest liar trap. Why do you always think you're right? Ever argued with someone and even when you showed them 100% solid proof, they still stuck to their point? Don't get mad. They're not sick. Their brain hired a defense lawyer to bend reality. Neuroscience calls this confirmation bias. Our brain is extremely lazy and hates realizing it was wrong because changing a belief costs a lot of energy. So your brain acts like a bribed judge. It only accepts evidence that confirms its previous beliefs and throws away anything that contradicts them. I used to think I had no talent in certain things. Whenever I made a small mistake, my brain said, "See, I told you you can't." But when I achieved something big, it said, "That was luck. Don't take it seriously." That's pure betrayal of your abilities. The top 9% learned to look for critique, not confirmation. They understand stubbornness is really the brain's fear of learning. If you want to unlock your real IQ, you must question your brain exactly when you're most sure you're right. That's when your brain is making up stories to keep you in your comfort zone. Practical exercise. Grab a piece of paper and write down 5 small successes that prove the exact opposite of your usual negative beliefs. Catch the judge in the act. Chapter 5. Hacking the reward system. Have you ever decided to start a diet or study on Saturday, but when Saturday came, you suddenly remembered you had to organize your sock drawer? Congrats, your brain just hit you with a chemical bomb. Here's the story. Our brain loves something called dopamine, but the problem is it can't tell the difference between real success and instant pleasure. It prefers getting free dopamine right now from a short video or a piece of chocolate than working 2 months for a big goal. Science calls this temporal discounting. Your brain prefers small rewards now over big rewards later. I used to fall into this trap all the time because my brain was always chasing quick pleasure. But the top 9% know a simple trick. They break big rewards into tiny pieces. When you take one small step, your brain releases a little dopamine and that makes you hungrier for the next step. The secret of successful people isn't superhuman willpower. It's that they learned how to bribe their brain. So instead of running away, it wags its tail toward the goal. If you want to change your life, don't fight your brain. Learn how to pull it in your direction with small rewards. Chapter 6. Executive Mastery. Emotional Intelligence, EQ, the secret weapon of the top 9%. When your logic becomes the boss of your emotions. Commander-in-Chief, when your logic becomes the leader of your feelings. Have you ever snapped and said something you regretted like crazy afterward? Or lost a golden opportunity because you were scared of being judged? If yes, it means your emotional brain overthrew your logical brain. There's a very old part of the brain called the amygdala. Its job is to trigger red alert the moment it senses danger, even if the danger is just a simple criticism. Most smart people think that because they have a high IQ, they automatically make good decisions. But the truth is, if you can't manage your emotions, your emotional brain becomes a parasite and ruins all your logical calculations. I used to think arguing and proving I was right meant I was smart, but later I realized it was just my primitive brain trying to protect my ego. The top 9% learn to put a gap between emotion and reaction. When they're angry or scared, they know it's not the time to decide because their brain is betraying them. Real intelligence means holding the wheel steady in the storm of emotions and not letting your instincts decide for you.
IQ might get you to the interview, but EQ and managing your brain's emotional betrayals are what take you to the top. My friend, by now you've seen how easily your brain can stage a coup against you, from filtering reality to biological laziness to pointless stubbornness. The truth is, a high-quality life isn't an accident. It's the result of a designed system that keeps these betrayals under control. Remember, you are not the voice in your head saying you can't or forget it. You're the one who can hear that voice and say, "Sit down, I'm in charge." Now, I have a serious question for you. Has there ever been a moment when you caught your brain lying to you? Write it for me in the comments. Your experience might help someone else escape their brain's trap.